brother last year for my birthday. He took me to Buffalo Wild Wings. We ate a lot of wings and it was really good and really fun. It made me feel special. I really liked Brinley too. I was happy when she came to my football games. I already knew they were going to get married because I saw them kiss on the lips one time. I love them both.
So for Mason, I wish I could tell you a story about how he left me somewhere or did something rude to me, but I can't because he's just such a good brother. Congratulations. And I'm so happy for you that I can do a 10 boom salute. Boom! 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 Boom!
Brinley, you were so lucky because you found my brother Mason. He's the greatest man and going to be the most amazing husband and one day father to get his kids. Mason, you are so incredibly loving and patient and so considerate. I love how good of I know how good of a dad you are going to be because of one memory that has stuck with me since I was little. Back when you and Jack shared a room across the hall from me and Abby, and there was a day there where me and Abby played Barbies like we did every other day of our lives. And you decided to come play with us. I remember you were the little boy who was always named Toby for some reason, and I don't remember how the game went and what happened to our Barbies that day, but you sitting down and playing Barbies with me and Abby has always stuck with me. I'm so excited for this change in life, and I can't wait for what it will bring. You're the best big brother ever, and I'm just so happy you found Brinley. Love you both. Okay, so I just want to say that I'm sure Brinley already knows this, but Mason loves sports, and he loves to talk about sports, and he knows everything about every sport, I swear. And so I'm excited for you to just gain so much knowledge about sports because I know I did. But in reality, it is one of my favorite things about me and Mason's relationship is, just how much we can talk about sports, because I know I don't look like I love sports, but me and Mason have a really good relationship built off of basketball, and it's all we talk about, we just talk about Luka getting traded. I'm sure y'all heard about that. I'm sure Brinley did. But I just think, we went to so many jazz games together and, just countless hours talking about mostly the basketball, but, every other sport too. Most recently, hockey. He's loving the Utah Hockey Club. I know Brinley is too. And so I'm just excited for you, and I've loved that me and Mason have had that in common for so long. And I know we'll get to continue that, but I'm so glad you get to have it too. And I love you too.
So growing up, not a lot of people knew me and Mason were brothers because we don't really look alike at all. I don't really know where we got off, but what I have in height, he has in swag and creativity, so it worked out. Growing up, me and Mason shared a room until we were both in our teens, so I have a lot of memories and experiences from that, but I remember specifically just Mason always being creative and proactive when it came to little activities. Back when we were little, we'd play with toys, I guess. Mason always told me exactly what to say and what to do with my toys because I did not know what to do. So it was basically just like watching a movie. It's kind of cool. We also would always try and be ready. We had this little game where in our stairs at our house was a creaky stair, and if you know the creaky stairs going up, you know one of the parents is coming upstairs to check on us. So we would do time trials to see how fast we could change and get in bed and turn the lights off before they come to our room. So a lot of times we would just practice speed running, and I thought we got pretty good, but Mom said she could tell we were changing fast. But I just continued to follow Mason's lead. I followed him into ballroom dance and how to talk to girls and all the stuff like that. I was always following his example, which is just something that I admire from Mason. Very proactive and creative, and when he left on his mission, that's kind of when it became hard for me. I was like, I actually have to make my own decisions now. But he continued to call me and text me and care about every little thing I do, which I just find really appreciative. Just the little things he gets so excited about in my life that I'm just really grateful for. And so, Brinley, welcome to the family. Thank you both for all you do for me. I love you both.
prepared, so I am winging it, but that's fine. I just want to say that I love my sister Brinley so much. I have been so lucky I'm the oldest, and so I've been so lucky to watch her grow up and to watch her turn into the incredibly beautiful, smart, funny, thoughtful woman that she is. It's weird, I still remember playing Barbies and Polly Pockets in the room that we shared together when we were just little girls, and dressing our Barbies up in wedding dresses and thinking about the day that we would get married. And it is here for you, and I'm so excited for you and Mason. Mason, you're a great guy, and we're really excited to have you in our family and to have our family grow. And you two are just very lucky, and I'm so proud to call you, Brinley, my little sister, and I'm so happy to have you as my first brother-in-law, Mason. So, congratulations.
Becca, just for the record, I've been waiting for this moment for about 18 years to speak at a sibling's wedding and say whatever I want about them in front of everyone close to them. Probably nice. I said I couldn't figure out much horrible things to say because I just can't. But so I'm one of Brinley's brothers. Brinley and I first met on December 6, 2006. It's arguably one of the greatest days in American history. But there was a lot going on that day, so I don't remember very much. But I know Brinley was excited to get me as a little brother, and I know that she was looking forward to what she was saying. I kind of reading what the Roses were talking about in sports, and one of the ways that I knew that Brinley was going to marry Mason was before Brinley and Mason knew each other, she knew hardly anything about sports. She could tell you about the Texas Rangers, maybe, and that was it. And so whenever I heard that Mason was a sports guy, that's cool. And then flash forward a few weeks later, and here she is playing these online football games and talking about all the football teams that Mason supports. And that's kind of when I knew before that Brinley told me that that's when they were destined to get married and to be together. I think it's funny whenever I first found out about Mason, it was through a post on social media that I just saw a photo of them two. It was probably maybe 2 weeks into them seeing each other. And that was a surprise for the whole family. I remember we all met for about 45 minutes trying to figure out who this guy was without him telling us. And at the end of the day, it turned out to be Mason, and I remember asking her, and the way that she talked about Mason from the beginning was very special, and I knew at that time that was the moment I knew that this was destined to be for a while. But I just want to say that Mason, you're a great guy. You're great for my sister, and I'm really happy and proud of you both. It's been the greatest joy to actually see you two grow into what you are. I've been hoping to see my siblings get married for a while, and Brinley, you could have chosen a better guy. Mason, you could have chosen a better girl. And I'm very happy for you both, and love y'all both.
A couple comments from Dad. I'm super stoked to have Brinley in the family. She's been coming over to the house for a while now, and she's just fits right in. And she's a joy to have in the house, and so we love you, Brinley. When one of the kids talked about sports, I think it was Abby who talked about sports. I think she underestimated how much he enjoys sports. If you've ever watched a game at home with Mason, it's a full body event. I mean, Mason is jumping off the couch, he's yelling at the TV. It's quite the experience. So as he started dating Brinley, I thought, oh man, is he gonna keep this up, or is he gonna he get a change for her? But nope, he's still the same yeller at the TV, and she's right there with him, so it's fantastic. But I was thinking about different things when I was thinking about Mason, and some of the great times we've had together is I was able to be his scout leader for quite a while, and had a lot of great campouts, and actually we've camped in weather worse than this, and so it's hard to believe, but those weren't his favorite outings, the snow caving. But I was really trying to think of something unique about Mason, and I started to think about when during his senior year, and this is probably the same for Brinley actually, but I feel like Mason's senior year got cut short with COVID, and he was halfway through his senior year, and then school shut down, and no senior prom, no graduation. I always felt bad for him, and probably for Brinley as well, that they didn't get to enjoy that last few months of high school. And then Mason was all gung-ho and ready to go on a mission for the church, and I was super excited for him, and he was putting in his mission papers at the same time the world was shutting down for COVID. And he was gung-ho. He wasn't going to be swayed. He was, I'm going to serve, and this is my time, and I'm not going to wait. And he got his mission call. For those who don't know, his original mission call was to Australia. And Mason prepared to go to Australia, and as time got closer for him to leave, they said, well, with COVID and whatnot, they're going to shut it down, and he's not going to be able to go there for the time being, so he's temporarily going to be reassigned to Cincinnati, Ohio. So that was a big change, I think, from Australia, but Mason took it in stride. I think he even had the option at the time to delay his mission and wait and see what happens, see what's going on with COVID, because this is 2020 during the peak of it. And he said, no, I'm ready to go. I'm committed and I'm ready to go. And long story short, 3/4 of the way into his mission, Mason was still had the opportunity, possibly, if they opened up Australia for him to travel to go to Australia. And I remember the day Mason posted that he got a phone call that he would not be going to Australia, that his permanent reassignment would be to Cincinnati. And my heart hurt for him because I thought how excited he was to go, and he had prepared and thought he would be there. And the thing that caught me the most about Mason was his Facebook post had a title on it and said, Nixon Rose is optimistic. And that pretty much sums up how I feel about Mason. He is a very optimistic person. Even when he found out that he was not going to be able to go to his original mission call to another part of the world, he was still optimistic. He was excited about the work he was doing for the people in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. And I'm just really grateful for him. And that optimism carries through to sports, to family, to hanging out with Brinley. I just love spending time with Brinley. So we're so grateful for him. So thank you, everyone, again for coming to be with us this evening and celebrate these two. And I'll turn the time over to the comments.
But today is a great introduction to marriage when you just kind of have to just go with it, because most things are not going to quite go as planned, and you just go with it, which these two have learned. When we first met Brinley, my kids always get a little annoyed with me because I do this thing that when I grew up in Oklahoma, so when I meet somebody from Texas or Nebraska or somewhere in that neck of the woods, I say, oh my gosh, I'm from Oklahoma. And they just think it's the craziest, most obnoxious thing, and that nobody cares that I'm from Oklahoma. But I told them one day if they meet someone from Idaho and they live in Philadelphia, they might tell them, oh, I grew up in Utah. So Brinley came over, scared to death, to come meet us. But Mason said she was from Texas, and I told him, did you tell her I was from Oklahoma? And he had already told her, so he stole my little thing. And so we just got to quickly talking, and We don't like Texas football, but we like Texas people. So we're so excited for them. If you know Mason from a little boy, Mason had these two treasures. And this is Gabe. And see, now I'm going to get emotional. I've kept Gabe all these years, but this is Gabe. And this other little treasure is Elmo, but Mason called him Melmo. And Melmo has his eyes rubbed off, everything's rubbed off because this guy just sat in Mason's hands all the time. And these two guys went everywhere with Mason. And one time we were driving from California back up to Utah, and we stopped to eat somewhere in Vegas. And Mason, I think it was just probably Mason and Jack at the time. And Mason we could have in a restaurant, but Jack we had to hurry and get out of a restaurant. And we accidentally left Gabe behind. And we got a little into the drive and realized, oh my gosh, we have left Gabe at this restaurant. And so I called back to the restaurant, and we'd gotten too far, we didn't want to turn around. And Mason was so upset because what was he gonna do without Gabe? And the restaurant wouldn't ship him to us, and none of these courier things were a big deal yet then. And luckily my parents were not too far, but I think a day or two coming back from California, heading to Utah. And so I asked the store manager or whatever, will you please put Gabe like in the kitchen or put him somewhere, because my little boy cannot sleep without this dang dog. And anyway, what Gabe and Melmo showed me at a really, really young age for Mason is, when Mason cares about something, and when he loves something, he's so loyal, and he takes really good care of it. And I remember him starting kindergarten, and I had to ask him, can I keep Melmo with me while you go into kindergarten so that I can have him to keep me comfort? And he let me have Melmo and Gabe while he would go to school. While he'd go to school, and eventually he probably didn't even know I still had Melmo because he doesn't carry these around anymore. I kept him as my little motherhood keepsakes. But I'm so excited for these two. This has been a first journey. He's our first child that made me a mom, and everything has been new with him, and so this is a first experience, and just we're so excited for him. We love Brinley. She's such a great add-on too with the family, and I just think that Brinley Rose just sounds beautiful. Everybody told me when I became Rose I should be a country singer as Julie Rose, and so now she really sounds like a country singer. And when you tell them you're from Texas, you're going to start getting that. So anyways, we want to thank everybody also for being here. We know it was a crazy Utah day to be here, but we're so happy that you're here, and a lot of love to keep things warm in this room. So thank you.
I want to say a special thank you to the Rose family for this beautiful dinner and putting this on in a snowstorm. That is immensely amazing. And so we appreciate this moment to all come together before we celebrate these two tomorrow. One of my first memories of Brinley, she was an excellent baby. She was really good. And but one of the things is that she would play Barbies around, I think she was 2 years old, and you know how hard it is to get those clothes on the Barbies, you know? It takes a lot of hand-eye coordination and a lot of determination, and she was I remember her sitting, just concentrating and being I'm gonna get these clothes on this Barbie. I will not allow the Barbie to win. I'm not gonna ask for help. I will do this, you know? And she was just determined, and I was I've never seen a 2-year-old so determined to do something, and that pattern just kept going and going and going. She's always had such a kind, helpful heart, you know. When the boys were born, she was always in there helping out. Over the last few months, as we've got to know Mason, and I've had moments of glimpses of eternity. I've had these powerful, knowledge that these two were meant to be together, and they were meant to find each other. And the way that they found each other was just so beautiful. And I feel like you're finding each other again here in this life, you know, and you're meant to be together. And Mason, we're so grateful to have you in the family. I have gotten so many compliments from all my friends and family. I'm like, her name is going to be so cool. She has the best last name, you know? And but she also has the best guy. And we couldn't be so excited to have you join our family. And we love you from the moment we met you. And we can't wait to make more fun memories and play more games and all the things. And we just love you guys so much. And we're just so grateful for your deep friendship and commitment to each other, which shows so deeply in how you treat each other, how you love each other, how you support each other, and all that you're doing. So, love you guys.
Well, I guess it's my turn. First of all, just echo what's been said about Mason. You know, as the father of the bride, you're supposed to find something or some things about that guy that shows that he's just not good enough for your little girl. And I just haven't been able to find it. I'm so glad that the two of you are together. So I've been thinking lately about some of the adventures that Brinley and I have been on. Not adventure, yes, there's been adventures that we planned out as adventures. But then there were things that were just ordinary, everyday events that turned into adventures. One time when she was 5 or 6, we went to a baseball game, and we couldn't find the car. And when I say we, it was me, because she was the 5-year-old who shouldn't have that responsibility. And it was probably, was about 45 minutes that we were looking around finding that car, and I could see the panic in her and in me, but I was supposed to remain calm, right, because I'm the adult. But eventually we found the car, but I think looking back, that's probably one of the things that she remembers the most, was getting lost. Well, there was another time when I was taking her to a friend's house, and she was a huge Kelly Clarkson fan. And I said, hey, just down the street is Kelly Clarkson's house. Do you want to see it? And she said, yes. Now, Kelly Clarkson lived on this ranch off this country road. It did not say no trespassing. It did not say private property. And yes, there was a gate, but the gate was open. And so we drove down the ranch, and there were a few other houses, and we got there, and there was her farmhouse, and we kind of sat there like, oh, there's her house. She knocked on the door, and all these things, and we thought, okay, let's go. We drove down the road and we were stuck. The gate had closed. And so maybe we really were going to go and knock on Kelly Clarkson's door and say, you don't know us, but let's go. Well, we were able to get out through a very real miracle without incriminating ourselves too much. And another adventure, we decided to hike Mount Timpanogos, which I guess is an adventure in some way. But in true Brinley dad form, it turned into more. And on the way up, it became a little bit painful for both of us. And so we rested for a bit, and we turned around, and then Brinley hurt her knee. And it seemed like and our phones died. And it seemed like every time we passed someone, they said, oh, you're almost there. Just another quarter mile, hour, still a quarter mile. And eventually we got there. Well, I guess why I wanted to share these three is for Brinley and Mason. When you all are together and enjoy being lost together. When you're stuck, just find a way out, get unstuck together. When you're hurt, you're not feeling good, stick together and get to the end together. There's one more thing I want to share. When Brinley was in high school, I had the opportunity to be a judge at her debate tournaments. And the way this would work, I would sit in the library or one of the rooms with the other parents and judges, and the people who were on the debate team would kind of be in their area, and every so often, Brinley would come in and see me or get the free food that we had. And on one occasion, she sat down next to me, and she put her head on my shoulder and she fell asleep. Now, it was not comfortable. My back was hurting, my neck was hurting, I had to itch my nose really bad. I think my foot was falling asleep, but there was no way I was going to move, because I knew that those moments, my little girl snuggling up to me, weren't going to last long, and one day she was going to have another guy that she liked snuggling up to more than me. And that's okay too. So the last thing I'll say to Brinley is enjoy those times you have together. Enjoy the little love. Love both of you. And just to add to what Courtney said, I thank the Roses for putting this together and getting to know them from afar. Putting together this, and all of us are connected in some way, family, close friends, and so I'm sure our paths will cross. We're all linked to something great. Thank you.
Sorry, just to cry a little bit. I'm just so grateful that everybody is here. It's so fun to see everybody, and it's so cool to just reflect on how everybody has been a part of my life up until this point. Like my friends from high school, and Sister Barboza, who's my young women's leader, and just all my aunts and uncles where I went to their weddings, and it's so cool to see everybody come here, and I'm so grateful for everybody who came out in the snowstorms and from far places and all the things. I feel like there's a million good things I could say about Mason and my parents and his parents, but I guess I'll just keep it short and say that I love you guys, and I'm so excited to be a Rose, but I'm also will always be a Company too. So, sorry.
Yeah, obviously I love Brinley. I love the Koenig family. I couldn't have lucked out any better. And I appreciate everyone who came today, and again, everyone that I have a relationship with, friends, to church leaders, to aunts and uncles, and my siblings, of course, made me cry the most. But yeah, again, just thank you for coming tonight, and appreciate my mom and dad for putting this on, and as well as my aunts who helped out today too. And yeah, thank you.